Brianna Cook, Dylan Parker, and Ashley Sullivan were three teenagers from the Silver Valley region of Northern Idaho whose deaths between 2014 and 2015 sparked significant controversy and community suspicion. All three teens attended Kellogg High School and were part of the same social circle. The same coroner responded to all three deaths and had a gut feeling something was wrong and that the teens were murdered, but police had a different theory. A few weeks after the third victim's body was found, the coroner was terminated from his position, he thinks because he refused to keep quiet. What is going on in Silver Valley, Idaho, and what secrets are being hidden? You're listening to Lurking in the Shadows. Hosts.
Yes. Welcome back.
Yes, happy February.
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Yeah. Well, actually, when this episode comes out, it will be just about. Let me look.
Let's see.
Yeah, the 12th. Amber's birthday's tomorrow. Everyone say happy birthday.
Tomorrow's my birthday. Yay, 32.
Oh, 32.
I mean, 23.
Yeah. Or just dyslexic, that's all.
Yeah, I can't fucking read.
All right. Well, we're inching towards spring, so that's something to look forward to.
February is always just that last little hump. I hate that I was born in it because it's always a blizzardy, cold month, but it's the last little hump of winter, really.
Yeah.
Major hump, anyway.
Yeah.
There's always like some winter in March and stuff, but
yeah, I hate March.
That's right, you have a vendetta against March. I forgot.
Oh, man. So in today's case, the topic of suicide is discussed, so if that is a trigger for you, you may not want to listen to this episode. The Silver Valley in North Idaho is a historic silver mining region in the Bitterroot Mountains, known for its rich past of producing over 1.2 billions of silver, and for a vibrant present focused on outdoor recreation and tourism, offering mining museums, mine tours, gondola rides, and natural beauty. Silver Valley is a narrow valley about 40 miles or 60 kilometers in length, east of the city of Coeur d'Alene. The South Fork of the Coeur d'Alene River flows through the valley, and Interstate 90 traverses the valley between 4th of July Pass to the west and Lookout Pass on the Montana border. Silver Valley lies in Shoshone County and includes the towns of Pinehurst, Smelterville, Kellogg, Wardner, Osborne, Silverton, Wallace, and I don't know if it's Mullen or Milan. The Silver Valley has also been referred to as the Coeur d'Alene Valley and the Coeur d'Alene Mining District. Silver Valley was a world-renowned silver mining hub in the late 1800s, but mining operations declined significantly in the 1980s. And now they have like year-round activities such as biking, hiking, ATVing, skiing, snowboarding, fishing, all kinds of different historic sites to explore as well. So
I'm not too far now.
Yeah, that's right. You're not. You'll have to go visit.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the western states are quite big to drive through, so it probably still is a haul, but I'm at least closer.
Yeah, closer, yeah.
Closer.
One thing I want to start off with about these cases is that we do not know if all three deaths are related or not, or if this is simply a coincidence or maybe a conspiracy. We will discuss it at the end. But I thought it was important to do an episode on them, on this case, because there is definitely something weird going on. Maybe someone out there knows something.
Yeah.
So the first victim in this case is Brianna Cook. I could find literally no information about her, like not even news articles about her death. Like there's nothing.
That's terrible because I'm sure you're about to tell us a few things you know about her, but she was
Mm-hmm.
probably, what, a young woman?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. And no attention to her whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. And this first sentence I'm going to share, I got from her obituary.
Hmm.
It reads, quote, Brianna Sue Cook was born May 15th, 1996 in Billings, Montana to Teresa and Arlen Cook. Brianna was born tough and fearless, good at every sport she tried, with a larger-than-life laugh that was so infectious that if she laughed, so would all those around her, end quote.
She was younger than us. What a baby.
I know.
And this was back in 2000 what?
13.
15? 13?
Mm-hmm.
Babies.
Mm-hmm.
Babies.
Yeah. She was 17 years old and living in Pinehurst, Idaho at the time of her death.
Hmm.
On October 25th, 2013, it was a normal night. Brianna attended a party with her older sister, Bethany, at a house on 2 Mile Road in Osburn, Idaho, which is about 13 miles or about 21 kilometers from Pinehurst, Idaho. A KHQ news article I read said drugs and alcohol were present at this party, according to police reports. Something either happened to Brianna or was said to Brianna at the party that really upset her, and she stormed off. Her sister Bethany and some friends followed her, and they ended up dropping Brianna off at their dad's house in Pinehurst. Bethany was quoted saying, "She got mad, that was Brianna. You'd fight and then she'd text me the next day and say, 'I love you, sissy,'" end quote.
Yeah, I mean, teenage shit.
Yeah, so she was mad. She wouldn't stay mad for long.
Yeah.
This would sadly be the last time Bethany would see her sister alive, and we don't fully know what happened. Around 1 a.m., after they dropped her off, about an hour after she got home, so they dropped her off around midnight. So around 1 a.m., Brianna's dad found her hanging from an extension cord in the shower.
Oh my God.
He was in his bedroom and sleeps with a fan next to his bed, so he reported he did not hear any sort of a struggle. Her dad retrieved a kitchen knife and cut into the cord, leaving a portion of it still tied around Brianna's neck and the other portion still tied to the shower rod. He found 7 pills, marijuana, and $60 on Brianna, but he could not find Brianna's cell phone to call for help. According to CDApress.com, her dad scrambled to get dressed so he could drive Brianna to the emergency room. So I'm assuming he didn't own a phone, if the reason why he didn't call 911 was because he couldn't find Brianna's phone. But nothing actually came out and said he didn't have a phone or something.
I bet he might have, but it was like downstairs or something, and he wasn't thinking about it. Maybe, in a panic.
Yeah. Because I just thought it was strange that he couldn't find her phone and then he just drove her to the hospital. But
yeah, I don't know. We can't say how we would react in a situation like this, to be honest.
He said, quote, "I grabbed my girl, dragged her out there, and put her in the car. Then I flew," end quote.
God.
I know. He estimates that he arrived at the hospital around 1:27 a.m. Doctors pronounced Brianna dead at 1:49 a.m. I'm assuming her parents were either divorced or separated at this time because her mom was sleeping when she got the phone call about Brianna. She raced to the hospital where, quote, "the doctor came out and said, 'I'm sorry, ma'am, your daughter didn't make it. I'll get her cleaned up so you can say goodbye,' end quote."
Oh my gosh, that's sad.
Mm-hmm. Especially to just get a call like that, it's so unexpected.
Yeah, in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Former Shoshone County Deputy Coroner Dave Roos arrived at the hospital shortly after. Roos is a Silver Valley native who spent most of his career in mining and also worked as an EMT. He said he fell into the position of deputy coroner after working as an apprentice at a funeral home for about 8 months. When Roos felt Brianna's body, he said he was struck by how cold her body was. Only a short period of time had passed from when Brianna was allegedly discovered to Roos beginning his examination at the hospital, and he said the body should have had at least a small degree of warmth left. And he's quoted saying, "It was like touching a cold counter. It was like somebody that had been dead for 5 or 6 hours," end quote. The autopsy report states Brianna died from asphyxia due to hanging by ligature. but it also noted blunt impact to the head with a contusion of forehead, which a contusion is basically like a bruise, as well as injuries on a finger, leg, and her lower lip. According to CDApress.com, investigators said they know the impact on her forehead was from a circular metal object, and there was mention of bruising to her knees. Roos, are you going to say something?
Did it say if this was post-mortem or?
They don't really know.
Okay, because
it seems like it's more pre. From what the coroner will, because we'll kind of get into the coroner then, and how he differs from what the police think.
Okay, because I mean, I could see some of these things happening, cutting somebody down and the full weight of them suspended, cracking into, I don't know, a porcelain toilet or a granite countertop or something, causing some of these injuries.
Well, we'll get into that. It wouldn't have been very far.
Okay.
Roos recalled seeing the goose egg on Brianna's head. He said the wound was swollen, which to him indicated it had occurred before Brianna died. There were waffle powder marks on both of Brianna's knees, which Roos said indicated to him that she had died with her knees on something like a bath mat. And he's quoted saying, "That right away struck me as funny, and I said, wait a minute, these are post-mortem marks, they're set," end quote. Roos relayed his findings to the Pinehurst chief of police, Rocky Wilson. However, when Roos encouraged Wilson to take pictures of the body for his investigation, Wilson allegedly replied that he did not need to take photos when it's an obvious suicide.
Oh, we're just going to write it off right away.
Yep, before the investigation even starts.
Yep, easy peasy.
Wilson
met... cash that check.
Mm-hmm. Wilson met with some of the family at the house. Brianna's dad said he showed Wilson around the house, but he only witnessed him take two or three photos. Her dad also said he noticed that the portion of cord he left hanging on the shower rod after he'd cut Brianna down was missing. It was no longer hanging there when they came back to the house. Wilson told...
So it didn't go into evidence then, you're saying that...
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's no longer there. Wilson told the family members he was sorry for their loss, then left. The house was not taped off or secured for further investigation. Brianna's phone was found the next day under a love seat in her bedroom and had been factory reset and did not contain any messages or pictures on it.
Okay, no. Somebody who's killing themselves is not... I mean, I can't sit here and say that I would... It just does... It's fishy. Mm-hmm. It's fishy.
It is.
I'm frustrated already, and this is only... we just started.
That's why I wanted to cover this, because I was like, there's something going on here.
It's fishy.
Mm-hmm. Wilson never contacted the family again about the investigation. Police, shockingly, were leaning towards suicide, but there's an interesting fact about Brianna. She could not tie knots, and she could not even tie her shoes.
Wow. Okay.
Her mom, Teresa, is quoted saying, "She did not know how to tie not even her own shoes. She couldn't get it. She wouldn't have tied it. She could not have. It's not possible," end quote. Referring to the noose.
Yeah. I mean, we'll never even know what kind of freaking knot it really was because it's not even there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her dad would have briefly seen it when he cut her down, but that's it.
Yeah.
And we always say you never truly know what someone is thinking on the inside, but I feel like if we use some common sense here, we can deduce that someone that could not even tie their shoes, even if they were planning to kill themselves, they're not going to choose hanging as their method of suicide if they can't even tie anything. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
I agree.
And then I guess you could rebuttal that maybe she had been thinking about it and practicing, but like in that case, then she would have been able to tie her shoes leading up to this event.
I feel like also she had other options. They found some pills in her pocket. I mean, I'm sure she had other pills in the house or something she could have taken, and like you said, that is a fact to point out that she can't tie a knot. You know, what a random thing to. I don't feel like the mom's like just pulled it out of thin air.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was well known in her family that Brianna could not tie her shoes.
Yep. So she's not going to tie herself up there.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think. And apparently their dad's shower was really tiny because her sister Bethany was quoted saying, "If I wanted to commit suicide, I'd have to get on my knees," end quote. So that's why I mentioned she wouldn't have had, if they cut her down, she wouldn't have had a fall. Like she wouldn't have just had a hard fall to the ground to hit her head or anything. She was pretty much on her knees.
That explains post-mortem knee marks on her kneecaps.
And it also is, how do you hang when you're on your knees?
You can hang yourself on your knees. You could.
Not
you have to commit to it, but you could.
It's not easy, but yeah. Upon doing interviews, it was reported that Brianna was heard leaving the party saying, quote, "I'm not staying quiet any longer. I will not cover for them anymore," end quote. Then about an hour later, she's found dead. Despite all of this, police found no signs of foul play that night, and Brianna Cook's case was closed and ruled a suicide.
Of course it was.
Roos was quoted saying, "I felt it in my heart and in my soul. I will go to my grave knowing that girl was murdered. There is no doubt in my mind. The whole thing didn't add up," end quote.
It's not adding up to me. There are some things I feel like we can explain with suicide, but why does she have the other injuries? Like I can sit here and explain the kneecap imprints, but she's got a goose egg, a busted lip.
Yeah, and her sister
finger injury.
Never came forward saying there was a fight at the party or anything, that she saw Brianna injured. So where did this come from?
Yeah.
78 days later, another teen dies. On January 11, 2014, 18-year-old Dylan Parker attended a party at a house on 2 Mile Road in Osborne, the same exact house Brianna attended a party at. He had been drinking and asked his mom, Mona Rupp, to pick him up from a gas station south of the party that he would walk to meet her at. Mona said his tone sounded panicked. She waited for Dylan at the gas station, but he never showed up. His phone was shut off not long after this. His mom asked if anyone at the gas station had seen Dylan, but they hadn't, so she drove around looking for him for a while, then called the police. The gas station where Dylan was supposed to meet his mom at was less than a mile from the home where he was partying at. Despite that short distance, investigators feared Dylan had wandered the other way, but Mona, his mom, is quoted saying, "You can see the lights of Osborne when you look up the other way. It's just dark. He knew which way he was going. He grew up here, and as any boy, they're in the mountains. He played there. He's used to the mountains," end quote. And people at the party were interviewed, but they said Dylan seemed fine and that he just left on his own.
Okay.
So apparently, if you're going towards the town where the gas station is, there's a lot of lights. The other way is just dark towards the mountains. And
yeah,
why would he go the dark way?
Yeah. Yeah, that is weird.
On January 21st, 10 days after Dylan went missing, his body was discovered by two men riding ATVs just north of the party in a heavily wooded ravine in the 2 Mile Gulch area. The autopsy revealed the cause of death to be hypothermia and revealed he had alcohol, marijuana, and hydrocodone in his system when he died, which is like Norco or Vicodin. Dylan was found without his pants or boots on, and his body was covered with injuries consistent with stumbling through the woods. The strange part about his case is there were no injuries to his feet, and the bottom of his socks were clean.
If you are stumbling through the woods, I would think that your socks would get a little bit dirty.
You would think there'd be some mud under that snow, yeah, depending how deep.
Yeah, I would think they'd be a little something.
Mm-hmm. And if he has scratches on other parts of his body, why wouldn't there be any on his feet?
That's true too, yeah. The whole thing. Well, I mean, the hypothermia, like having no pants and things like that, you start taking off your clothes and doing crazy things when you start being hypothermic.
Yeah, which I was going to talk about. Yep.
Yeah. So that I could explain away type of thing.
Yeah,
But
paradoxical undressing it's called, which is where
okay.
like a person will remove their clothes because their brain either malfunctions or the blood vessels suddenly dilate at the end of life, pushing warm blood to the skin to give the sensation that the body's hot even though the person is still freezing.
Yeah, that I always think of the
The diet law of
uh,
past.
yes.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's what I always think
Yeah.
of too.
Yeah. Because they all like had clothes off and stuff,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
they were in like sub-freezing
Yeah.
temperatures. So, um, I couldn't imagine being that cold where like you can't even think straight type of thing.
Mhm. Right. No. His mom is quoted saying, "I don't deny my son died of hypothermia. What I don't understand is how did he get up there? There were no footprints that day, no tire tracks, there was nothing. How did he get up there?" End quote. So that's the other weird thing.
He,
There's no foot
yeah.
marks, no tire tracks, no drag marks. How did he get up there with no injuries to his feet?
I don't know.
And then, as far as like the paradoxical undressing, one article I read said that that could have been used to explain why his pants and boots were off, but those items have still never been found. Like, if that was the case, his clothes would have been found once the snow melted, or maybe even before that.
Yeah, maybe they would have stuck out, to be honest.
Yeah,
Depending on what I mean, white and like blue jeans or whatever he was wearing.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't explain his clean feet,
Yeah.
regardless. Like,
You're
he
right.
must have had them on going through the woods. And then, I don't know, whoever took him up there removed them for whatever reason or whatever happened. I don't know.
I don't even have a real theory right
I know.
now
Unless he
because
was
they said
dragged
there's no.
and like they just fell off while he was being dragged, but then when he still have like injuries to his heel, when his heel still be dirty. And then there would also be
Yeah,
drag marks though.
that's what I'm saying. The thing that's getting me is you're saying they're claiming there was no marks whatsoever in the
Mhm.
snow.
Yeah. Doesn't
So
make sense.
yeah, he fell out of the sky.
I came across an interesting discussion on Reddit about the tracks or lack of tracks. The commenter said he looked up old weather reports during the time Dylan was missing. He said there was about 1.5 inches of snow that had fallen the day he went missing on the 11th, and the week before that, the area had gotten some significant snow. So any tracks he made would have been reasonably deep. The next day, there was less than a third of an inch of snow, but based on like how snow falls pretty evenly, that still wouldn't have been enough to fill any tracks that he would have made.
Well, but listen, now that I'm out here in the West, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's windy as fuck out here.
That's true. Wind can also play a part.
I was gonna say it would not surprise me if the wind drifts just drifted away the snow marks and stuff and just evened the terrain out, to be
Yeah, I didn't
honest.
read anything about if there was wind or significant wind or anything.
I don't know much about we're in Idaho, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about that, but like I know like here and like Utah and it's windy as fuck.
So yeah, that's definitely a
So
possibility.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because there's how did he get there? He did not fall out of the sky.
I know.
So he got there stumbling and probably his feet marks got wind drifted away.
But then why are his feet clean?
He left the party with sneakers on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, what are the chances that he just keels over and his shoes his shoes fall
Right?
off at that exact time? I don't mean to say it. Like,
It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. That is tough for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I could explain one thing away. I'm working on it.
There was no snow between January 12th and the day he was found on the 21st. Furthermore, the weather would have stayed reasonably cold while he was missing, so, I mean, you would think if there were tracks, they still would have been visible if weather was permitting.
Yeah.
So that leads me to, like, did someone purposely cover tracks? I read one theory that maybe the two ATV riders that found him killed him, but, like, that doesn't explain their lack of tracks, because how would they have covered their tracks then? And what would their motive have been anyway?
Yeah.
And then the really strange thing about these cases is there's like no news articles. And if there was, they're gone now. Because even for him, I really struggled finding information. 107 days after Dylan's death, there was another one, Ashley Sullivan. And she has the least amount of information of them all. I could barely find anything on her. No news, nothing. Like what I'm going to read next, I also have to get from her obituary.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm. And it says, Ashley was born in Butte on March 17, 1995, to Carrie Beardsley and Dennis Sullivan. Ashley moved around a lot and attended many schools, including Kellogg High School, where Brianna and Dylan also attended. Ashley was loved by all who had the pleasure of meeting her. She had the brightest smile and could cheer anyone up with just one look. Ashley loved life and lived it to the fullest. She had a reputation for helping others in their time of need and touched many lives during her short life. Although she was only 19, she was wise beyond her years. Ashley moved a lot during her school years and regretted that she could not be with all of her great friends along the way. And then it's quoted saying, she made friends easily with her friendly, caring personality. Ashley has friends all over Washington, Idaho, and Montana, along with those she met during her many trips to Boston, New York, and Florida with Fred Moodry Middle School, and to 4 countries in Europe with the People to People Ambassador Program. Ashley enjoyed soccer, basketball, track, drama, and playing the flute in the Anaconda FMMS band. Some of her fondest memories were playing in basketball and running track for the Columbia Lions of Hunters in Washington, and she was also in plays that she was involved in at Ritzville High School. She also loved going to youth groups all over and with her Anaconda friends at the Presbyterian Church. She enjoyed spending time with her friends and family, and has more friends than anyone we know. She worked for Subway and the Blue Bike Cafe in Ritzville, Washington, Taco Time in Anaconda and Silver Rapids Water Park, and Panhandle Linen in Kellogg, Idaho, end quote. So she was involved in a lot of things.
Heck yeah, she was. My goodness.
Yeah.
And she traveled a lot at her age.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
On April 29, 2014, Ashley was found hanging from a tree near a home in Kootenai County, which is about 45 minutes from Silver Valley. Dave Roos, the same coroner from the last 2 cases, is quoted saying, I get a phone call from the coroner. His exact words are, Dave, there is another one, end quote. Officers found Ashley with a tow strap type of rope around her neck, and the autopsy showed marijuana in her system. Roos noted Ashley had a wound on her forehead that was strikingly similar to Brianna's, but it was not noted in her autopsy.
Why not?
And that confused me when I read it, so I guess Roos didn't actually do the autopsy, but was maybe just called in due to the similarities in the cases. But he did see her body, because he's quoted saying, it was like you could take Brianna and Ashley's forehead side by side and you couldn't tell them apart, end quote.
Wow.
So 2 girls with the same injury on their forehead, both found hanging. Kootenai County investigators suspect Ashley committed suicide.
Of course.
Ashley's mom, Carrie Rickman, was shocked and did not believe her daughter did this to herself, as she was actually an advocate for people who had suicidal thoughts, and she never showed any signs of those thoughts herself. Now, obviously, again, you never know what anyone's really thinking or feeling.
Yeah.
So we have to take that into consideration, too.
Yeah.
After the deaths of Brianna and Dylan, Ashley's mom remembered Ashley saying she was scared, but she never elaborated on what she was scared of.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you say something like that?
I don't know.
I wouldn't say something like that.
Right.
Like,
These two other
unless there's,
teens that she's aware of died, she knew, and now she's saying she's scared.
yeah, that's weird.
Mm-hmm. 3 weeks after Ashley's body was found, Dave Roos was terminated from his job. And he's quoted saying, "They told me they let me go because they were hiring a licensed person. Then they hired an MRT, which is what I was. I lost my job because I refused to be quiet," end quote.
Oh.
So he's the one that's putting all this together. Like, what are these weird similarities and what's going on here? He doesn't believe they're suicides.
Yeah.
And he lost
I'm
his
kind
job.
of on his side. I think I'm not going to sit here and completely say no,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like they need more investigation,
Yeah.
is what I think.
Because there's enough evidence that there could be something else happening as well.
Yes. I wholeheartedly think that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, something different going
Mm-hmm.
on here than just like a cut and dry suicide here.
Right. The Idaho State Police released a statement in 2016 saying, quote, "Both the Cook and Parker cases are closed. Our detectives looked at many different angles in both cases, and foul play is not suspected in either. Of course, if a citizen has information that would indicate foul play and they have not talked previously to law enforcement, they can call the agencies that originated the cases. This would be the Pinehurst Police Department in the Cook case or the Shoshone County Sheriff's Office in the Parker case," end quote. Dylan's mother hired a private investigator, and Brianna's family created a petition for the FBI to get involved. That was in 2016, and I could not find any further updates into those. Dave Roos still thinks about these cases. He's quoted saying, "These kids still haunt me. There is no doubt in my mind that there is somebody, and likely more than one person out there, that knows something. That knows why Brianna is dead, and why Ashley is dead, and why Dylan is dead. Somebody knows something," end quote.
Yeah.
It's weird.
They're weird. The goose eggs on the head. Yeah.
The clean feet, no tracks.
Yeah.
Being at the same party, on the same road.
Yeah. Yep. That's strange too.
They all attended the same high school at one point. I also have a fourth case to talk about that isn't concretely linked to the other three, but I saw his name mentioned a few times when I was researching the others, and that's Brian Shookman. 32-year-old Brian Shookman was last seen on July 28, 2012, leaving his cousin's house around 3 p.m. to drive 6 miles to his aunt's house. At the time of his disappearance, Brian had been living in Great Falls, Montana, and had been in recovery from drug addiction. He was in Shoshone County, Idaho that July because his extended family was planning a reunion, and he unfortunately reconnected with a cousin named Justin Smith who heavily used methamphetamine.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. The day before the reunion, Brian was arrested on a 1999 bench warrant for failing to appear on a charge of possessing an alcoholic beverage as a minor. His dad picked him up from jail. Brian then returned to his cousin's place to sleep it off. The next day, his cousin showed up for the family barbecue, but there was no sign of Brian. Brian's sister, Danielle Banning, remembered that Justin Smith showed up for the family reunion with no sign of his cousin, and he was acting strange. Smith was trying to scare children at the reunion and was talking about killing someone and a dead body.
What?
Mm-hmm. At the family reunion.
Yeah. Wow. He's a hell of an uncle.
Cousin.
Cousin, yeah. Damn. Damn. That's some family reunion talk.
Yeah. His family assumed Brian was embarrassed about relapsing and had gone home to Great Falls, but when no one had heard from him by Sunday night, it became clear something was wrong. Brian's mother, Becky Banning Shookman, said, quote, "I knew right away he wasn't alive. He hadn't contacted us," end quote, which was very abnormal for him.
Yeah.
3 weeks later, Shookman's car, a maroon 1998 Ford Escort, was found abandoned on a dirt road near Dobson Pass. There did not appear to be any signs of a struggle. Dobson Pass is about 26 minutes from Silver Valley, the area linked to the other 3 victims. Multiple searches were conducted, but his body was never found. Police identified and interviewed 4 people they believe were in Shookman's orbit around the time of his disappearance, but never found enough evidence to pursue charges against anyone. Jeff Lee, who formerly worked for the Shoshone County Sheriff's Office at the time of the disappearance, believes it's unlikely that Brian walked into the woods and died from an injury or exposure to the elements. And it was July at that time, or when he went missing.
Okay.
This area is frequented by hunters, so someone likely would have found something and reported it. Lee also doubts that Brian died due to an overdose because he likely would have been found near his vehicle. He's quoted saying, "I do have a strong feeling that there are one or more people involved in this, and I just hope that before they get old and their time is up, they come forward and do something about it so we can find Brian," end quote.
What was the name of the pass again? I want to Google it really quick. I want to see.
Dobson Pass.
Dobson Pass. And we're in Idaho.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was curious. Okay, yeah, July. No, wouldn't be anything significant around that time. They have nothing because sometimes when they use the word pass, like it could be like a mountain pass, and I'm sure
Right.
there are some mountains out there. So I wanted to see what the elevation was because you can have snow at mountaintops. So I wasn't sure. No, it's only 5,000 feet above sea level. So.
Oh, okay. Jennifer Anselmo, another sister of Brian, believes he was murdered. Brian's family remembers him as a vibrant, happy outdoorsman and a loving dad to his son, Mason. Sadly, his son Mason died at the age of 16 of a fentanyl overdose in 2021, 2 days before the 9th anniversary of his father's disappearance.
That's sad.
It is. He had taken a Percocet that was unknowingly laced with fentanyl.
Oh, that's sad. That's extra sad. That makes me sick.
In 2022, his family offered a $10,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of his remains. That reward remains unclaimed. If you or anyone you know have information regarding Brian's disappearance, you can contact the Shoshone County Sheriff's Office at 208-556-1114. Shookman's family also accepts tips, including anonymous ones, via email at bringbrianhome@outlook.com.
Well, those are all really sad, though, because they're all just written off as suicide, even though I'm not sitting here saying that none of them aren't suicide. But I'm also not saying that they are suicide,
right,
you know?
Yeah. And in my research, I didn't see anything about Brian being directly connected to that party house on 2 Mile Road. But with his drug history and they're using drugs at that house, who knows? Maybe he had been to that house before. Maybe he could somehow be connected to these others.
Yeah, that's a good theory.
Although in his case, his cousin seems pretty suspicious.
Yeah.
Like, he's at the house with you, and then suddenly you arrive without him at the barbecue, and you're telling people you don't know where he's at.
Yeah, that is suspicious. What if this is like gang hits or something?
Yeah, I don't know. But why? Like 3 random teenagers?
I don't know.
But it is weird. So those are the suspicious cases of Silver Valley, Idaho. Are they all connected? Cover up? Conspiracy? I don't know about you, but I think someone is holding on to a secret.
I think, yeah, somebody knows more. They just need investigated more. I want to know the goose eggs, why, but we'll never know. We'll never know.
Yeah, because they're saying they're suicides and they close the cases.
Yeah, that's it. We'll
Like,
never
did they
know.
ever interview the people that own that house on 2 Mile Road?
No, probably not.
Did anyone look into them?
No, but I think that would have been a great place to start.
Mm-hmm.
But they wouldn't even have started there because they think it's just suicide. So they didn't start anywhere.
And even if they did talk, well, I know they had asked people at the party for, in Dylan's case, and they said, oh, he just left. But I don't know how thoroughly they interviewed them. I don't know if some people could have left before the police questioned anyone. I mean, or they could have been lying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah. I feel bad for their families. They're just kind of stuck in limbo, not knowing what happened.
Yeah, that is sad. Because they really probably think they hired a private investigator. Like, they think it's not suicide as well. So,
Let us know your thoughts in the comments, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Let us know.
Yes, I'd be interested to hear.
Boo.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Make Like a Shadow and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at
Lurking in the Shadows Podcast.
You can no longer find us on TikTok, but if you have any case suggestions, questions, or concerns, you can shoot us a Gmail at
Lurking in the Shadows Podcast at gmail.com. And keep lurking around for our next episode. Bye.
Bye.